If there is one question I've been asking myself concerning Kizza Besigye's case, what did Kizza Besigye do to the family of M7? What did he do to the family of President Museveni? To the extent that the son of the president, a high-ranking officer in the military of Uganda, General Muhoozi, now saying that Kizza Besigye will only leave the prison either dead in a coffin or on his knees apologizing to his father. Hey, this is completely unbelievable. You know, I try to understand what really happened. These people were very true friends back in the days when they were in the military, when they were fighting Obote. What really happened? Why does Muhoozi keeps on referring to Kizza Besigye as a traitor who should face the most painful punishment? You see, I don't understand. Can somebody explain to me this in the comment section? You see, death is something that you cannot even wish your worst enemy. But here, there's something I don't understand. The son of Museveni, General Muhoozi, I don't understand why he has become so personal with Kizza Besigye. Why is the issue been so personal? Because Museveni himself has said that he's not happy seeing Besigye in prison. But his son is like, this guy has to be in prison. He has to go through them. I don't understand, guys. Can you explain to me why they are still keeping Besigye in prison? You see, one thing I know is that if it were politics, it shouldn't be what we are seeing now, because politics, people disagree and the people come back to, people come to agree after they disagree, because politics is all about interest. But this one in Uganda, it is even out of, it is not politics. I think something is, we don't understand something. Because I remember the way Kizza Besigye has suffered, the elections he has contested and the manner in which he has lost them. I'm telling you, it is something that nobody can, it's not easy to imagine. I remember the kind of brutalities that this guy went through. Do you remember when he was being tear gassed, his convoy is being blocked from leaving his home? He was not allowed to campaign. Just what we see Bobby Wine going through today. This guy was pepper sprayed while he was in his car. He almost lost his vision. I remember when he was rushed to, a specialized, a hospital here in Nairobi for specialized treatment. I think that is just enough. This guy has gone through hell in the name of politics in Uganda. This is extreme. And you know, one funny thing is that all these things are happening. On one side, Museveni is trying to distance himself. Is like, I'm not doing anything to see this guy suffer. I'm not happy with the way he's suffering in prison. While on the other side, his son, who is the general, is like, he's not going to allow Kizza Besigye leave prison alive. So it is like he's trying to imply that Besigye will only get his freedom either through death or through submission, which I think is not how politics. I know one thing I don't understand again. Why is General Muhoozi, why is his name featuring in the Ugandan politics? Because I think professional military guys, military officers should actually distance themselves from dirty politics. But this one is a different case. Every time you see whatever he says on Twitter, you ask yourself, so I normally imagine if this guy takes over Uganda now, let's say he inherits he succeeds his father, what is going to happen to the dissenters? How is he going to deal with the opposition? If just now the father is still there in power, but is the one running the show, is the one, I am just trying to imagine. Hey, this one I've never heard of this in Africa. This kind of politics. Because if there's something personal, I think there's a way they should deal with it. But now this of Kizza Besigye, oh my goodness. And imagine elections are going to be held in Uganda. General elections, presidential elections are going to be held in January 2026. So, or could it be that there's another game here, that they want to keep this guy in prison until the elections are done with? Maybe there's that fear that if this guy is left, is given freedom now, is going to actually support Bobby Wine, and that the defeat is going to be devastating. So could be that this is a strategy, that let's keep this guy in prison. By the time he gets his freedom, then elections are over. Because, I look at the way this guy was abducted in Kenya. This guy was actually put in prison in Communicado. Then when pressure increased and he was presented before the military court, the court martial there was helpless. They had nothing to charge him with. They were just fumbling around. Then this guy his case was taken to the Supreme Court of Uganda. And it was clear that this guy, he had he had nothing to answer. He was like, I believe there is no respect for human rights in Uganda as far as this regime is concerned. Oh my goodness. Why should you fight a man who is defenseless, a man who is not fighting back? This is somebody who is just also fighting for his political space. We have never heard Kizza Besigye insulting the president or other political. You see, it is quite hard to understand. This is somebody who has never killed anyone in line with politics. Kizza Besigye has never been heard inciting the people of Uganda to go for any war against or overthrow the government. He's been in politics, purely politics. Politics where he has been selling his agenda to the people. So the same frustrations is what we are seeing Bobby Wine and going through. Is subjected to the same brutality that Kizza Besigye was subjected to. So the people of Uganda, and you find there are some people who don't understand. They are in Uganda, but they don't understand what is going on. I don't know. They say, oh, you don't want change. Guys, are you really? Something is amiss somewhere. If you say you don't want change, who does not want change? Even if the current regime is what you support, but you cannot say that you, one person, you want to speak on behalf of the whole country. What people are saying is that let the current regime treat every person fairly according to the constitution, and let them have what is called fair competition, a fair ground for everyone. Right now, there are many opposition leaders in Uganda who are in prison. There are those who have subjected to forced disappearance. Their families don't know where they are now. There is repression all over, military walking aimlessly in the streets. They don't want to hear anything coming from the opposition. You are being treated like a criminal. So it is quite unfortunate that as the people of Uganda are trying to fight for a new face of leadership in Uganda, there are some people who are still supporting what is not good. You know, one thing I believe in is that when good people keep quiet, evil will always prevail. And this is a time that the people of Uganda, the people who believe in the right cause, the people who believe in change, a positive change for a better Uganda, should come out fearlessly, vote for the right cause, whether it is Bobi Wine or any other candidate. But they should be allowed to exercise their constitutional right. Because if you suppress these people, it means that you know you are going to lose. So the situation is in Uganda is actually wanting. It is getting out of hand, and Uganda is becoming. Is Uganda really a country? That's the question. Is Uganda really a democratic country? And if it is not, when do they want to foster democracy? Because many countries around the world are enjoying democracy. Look at Kenya. Despite a few challenges here and there, but Kenya is already enjoying the fruit of democracy. But now this case of Uganda, where you find the military dispersing peacefully gatherings with a lot of brutality, as if somebody has done something wrong to them. The military of Uganda, the police of Uganda should know that every regime has its expiry date. And you see, the moment a regime comes to its knees, you, the people who are being misused, the people, officers who are misusing their powers, their authority, will be personally held responsible. So anyway, we are following what is happening in Uganda, and we will only stop talking when the people are given their freedom, when the people are allowed to vote for leaders of their own choices. There is no fear in speaking the truth.